Hello everyone, welcome to Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. Thank you for joining me, and I'm doing the video today, something I talked about on my other channel in one of my lives, and people have asked me to do a full video on it, so I thought there's nothing better than to do it as a live, and then if people are in the chat then they can ask any questions they have. If you're watching this back later and you have any questions, please put them in the comments below and I will do my best to answer them. All my videos about YouTube myths that I bust are 100% factual information. And I do have videos on both this and my other channel all about different things, how to use YouTube, how to use StreamYard, all things, anything to do with starting a channel or tabs you can use and tricks you can use, many things. So I'll just run on the ticker tape below my other channel in case you don't know it. New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus. If there's something you want to know about how to do on YouTube or about a myth you've heard and you want my video on it, then do just ask me for the URL in the comments and I will give it to you. So I'll just quickly run through over both channels what I've done so far relating to YouTube and so forth. So the first thing I've done is looked at my other channel that's running below, New Beginnings, My Everyday Life in Rural Cyprus. And the videos I've done so far on that channel are, the first one is tips for posting videos on YouTube. So there's things you might not know, plus analytics and YouTube myths busted. And we'll talk more about some of those things throughout this video. The next one I did on that channel was about podcasts new directly. You can do podcasts directly on YouTube, not as it used to be. You can make them and then post them on YouTube. So that information contains full information and a tutorial how to directly make podcasts on YouTube. And the other one I've made so far on that channel is titled Stop Donating Using YouTube Super Chat and Super Thanks, and the reasons behind that. I will say yet again, if you're asking for donations from people, joining on YouTube is one of the worst ways you can raise money for yourself, because partly the work you should be doing in relation to that, if people come and join, you should be putting a lot of effort into what you do for them, and not just releasing videos early that they're going to see anyway. I think that's so sad. There's things you can do. And also I say don't donate that way, because that and the super thanks, YouTube takes the largest proportion of donations to you. So you're basically lining YouTube's pocket in that respect. Anything via YouTube, they will take a big cut first, which we will talk more about in a minute. On this channel, the videos I've posted so far, and as I said, if there's something you want to know, time permitting, I will do those for you. The YouTube tutorials on this channel I've posted so far is what is the applause button on YouTube, and getting started on StreamYard. And note the applause button is now called the thanks button. This is something else YouTube's pretty good at doing, is changing the names of things. So when people find out the bad situations using them, they change the name and you think it's something else, such as TikTok used to be called Musical.ly until there was a big situation with a platform encouraging young children to flaunt and dance provocatively for certain types of viewers, and it got such bad press that it just changed its name to TikTok, and that's still what they're encouraging, is youngsters to make all sorts of videos. Another video I've done on this channel regarding a tutorial is easy YouTube tutorial, how to put your logo or icon, a free subscription button, anything you want to put down the very bottom of your corner of all your videos, or any other customization, as I say, at the bottom corner of your videos. If you don't know how to do that, if I give you a tutorial, it's simple. I'm not a great computer person. I didn't have computers when I was younger, so I am self-taught, but I have enough of a noggin to work things out and look up statements and analytics and all sorts of things. I'm not talking about your own YouTube analytics. That is tosh. Okay, the next one is part of the YouTube tutorial series, is the community tab. You know, the community posts that you have along the top of your channel where it says videos, shorts, lives. There is the community tab, which YouTube doesn't do much to promote that, because I hear so many people don't know where that is or what you can do with it. And I tell you how to post up to 5 pictures in one post. So on one community post, how you can post up to 5 pictures or with your message. And there's many new things you can do within that now. There's been for a long time, you can post a quiz question. you've been able to post for a long time, a poll, and there's also more fun things which I'll probably go through on another video. There's a lot of things you can do now. You can promote videos on there, as in actual videos, and so on and so forth. So if you've got an upcoming video, you can share that. The next video is how to remove trolls from live chats. I'm surprised I haven't got more views for that, because basically there's a lot of people that ask how to get rid of trolls. I've got the video with factual information, and the factual information videos don't get watched, and people talk a load of spout as if they know things about YouTube. They get thousands of views. And the way I work, I sort out who does know about YouTube out of these I'm a YouTuber or I work for YouTube, all these nonsense statements, is I ask them one specific question, and if they can't answer it or ignore the question, I know they know nothing. And if you want me to share that question with you, I will do. It's something I had going on with YouTube, and I won the battle, one of many. Okay, let's say hello though. Let's break down, say hello to Peter Dell's channel. Out Peter Dell's channel. It's a really great channel if you want to chill out. So the next video, I was saying about the removing trolls from live chats, and I added to that video common mistakes moderators can make. Now I see some channels that basically get basically anyone they know quite well through YouTube, they make them a moderator. Well, that's fine, and it encourages them to come back. But the fact is, if I make someone moderator, I tell them how I want my channel moderated. And a lot of people who want to be a moderator for the status of it, they don't know what to do when a troll comes in. They block them or they put them in timeout. These are the wrong things to do. So don't block them. Interestingly, don't put them in timeout. So if you want to know more about that, then I have a video on that. I have a video on YouTube tips and hacks, podcasts, super thanks, captions, subscriptions, StreamYard, bots, moderators, so on and so forth. And more recently, if you've got a YouTube channel and you don't know, there are 2 new policy information changes regarding adverts and strikes. And I'm talking about adverts, not with you doing sponsorships within your video adverts, but when you put adverts in your video. There are 2 brand new policies, and I know what a lot of people do. They see new policies, they don't look at it. YouTube could be saying anything to you and you're like, yep, accept. Well, there is a big thing about new strikes, how you'll get strikes, and I did a whole video on that. So as I say, if you're interested in any of the videos I've mentioned, do ask and I can give you the URLs. So drop a comment and I will do that. What's your title of the trolls remove? It's, let me put the URL up if that will help you. On this channel, I believe I've got a playlist of YouTube tips and hacks, but I can actually bring up the URL now for you. This is a way I've shown you on one of my videos how I organize my YouTube. And basically, every time I post a video, I put the next number, say 554 or whatever, and I put the title in. It's all on a Word doc. And then I've got a booklet of themes and not necessarily my playlist. So this is YouTube tutorials, and I put a number next to that, which video it is. Then if anyone wants any of my videos, I'm now scrolling on that to find the actual video number. So when I posted it, it was video 149. So now I'm scrolling down my Word doc and I will find video 149, and then I have the URL which I've saved on my Word doc. So 149, how to get rid of trolls and bots from lives, common moderator mistakes. That's the title, and the URL is there. And I know some of you can't get my chat after a live, so if you're watching this back later, then, as I say, drop a comment and ask me what you want and I can post it for you. You have to make them individual videos. Yes, they are. They are individual videos. They're all individual. I've got a video about premieres, and that annoys me to the extreme. People who every single video they make is a premiere, and all that's for is they're afraid that they won't get many views quickly when a video goes up. They think it brings better traffic to their channel, so that, like a live, you might have a set time. Everyone has premieres with a set time every single video, and then it makes their channel look more popular, that everyone jumps in and watches the premiere. Now, I have two things against premieres. One is I can't be in a chat and watching a video at the same time. I'd rather watch a video. Or if you want to talk to someone as a host, then do a live. That's what I like to do. The second thing is, if you ask YouTube itself, what is a premiere for? A premiere is a special video. So I have ever only done one premiere, and I think that was on my other channel, and that was for my 100th video. So it was a special one. And the other thing you're supposed to do with a premiere, which, tell me if you do it, because I barely see anyone that does. YouTube states a premiere is for a special video. You can chat within that if you want to, but to encourage them to continue watching the actual video content after the premiere video has played, YouTube asks that you stay on in the chat for at least 20 minutes. So it's basically watching the video together and then chatting after. And most people show the premiere, goodbye, finish, which is ridiculous. That is not what premieres are for. So I've done a video that includes about premieres, how to remove liked videos from YouTube. So all this history that builds up in your computer. I've said about super thanks, how to add subtitles and captions. That's been made easier these days. How to see your subscribers. And more on moderators and block words. So basically, if you have people coming on saying certain things you don't like, then you can type in that previously. You can go in now to your channel and type the blocked words, what word you want blocked. And if you've had any bots on your channel where they type one letter at a time to spell something nasty, block each letter. That's a good tip. I haven't added that in one of my videos, but if they type, there's very common words that they type, they come on and they type something, 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 something down like that. As they type down, just block each letter. Okay, yeah. Peter's saying don't title it how to get rid of troll, but how to stop troll, easier to rank, but also use the title in the first sentence of your description. Yes, I've tried many different formats, and to be fair, if you have an in YouTube, something we can talk about, it doesn't matter what you do. Like these thumbnails, let's just briefly talk about thumbnails. I will get to the title of this video, but it's basically talk about YouTube today. Thumbnails. These thumbnails and trends. This is why I call my videos about YouTube myth busting. They are all 100% factual information. if somebody tells you you can't do this in YouTube, you can't do that, this brings in this brings in that, always say to them, where did you hear that from? And everyone will say, I don't know, I can't remember, or, oh, I saw it on someone else's channel. If you haven't got an actual source directly in YouTube, I'm not talking about these people on YouTube that make videos and say there's something to do with YouTube and partnership and all that, blah, blah, nonsense. And I'll tell you in a minute why that is nonsense. If you have an actual in to YouTube, I've dealt with them on a one-to-one level, then don't take anyone's word for anything. A lot of these myths are pushed around by big YouTube channels that want you to take a different route or stop doing something or copy something, make it rubbish, make it a thing that doesn't do any good and passes rubbish round. Let's say what sort of things. Well, we were talking about thumbnails. It became I hate to say the word trend, but there's all different ways people say, oh, you make a thumbnail like this and you make a thumbnail like that. It doesn't matter. The only thing you need to do in a thumbnail is make it somebody is interested in that picture. That's all you need. Peter says, Dawn, I have a tag you should use and add the same in the description, how to stop trolls on YouTube. So the thumbnails, all you need to do is have a very clear picture of something that will draw people to your video, and it's got to be the main status of what your video is about. It's no point putting a picture up that you're talking about for 1 second. It's got to be the theme of the video. You can put words in if you want to do words, but if your picture's good enough, you don't need that. Very off-putting is people's faces in thumbnails, and this is 100% fact. The other thing, the trend, the myth, that if you do an open mouth, like a surprised mouth, that will get people clicking. Yes, it will, in a certain type of viewer, and this is why YouTubers started calling it the porno mouth. So there you go. That's the type of people that would click on it. And most of those expressions are nothing to do with it. And YouTube are yet again, which they did for a while before, cracking down on the clickbait titles. Now, something I want to bring up, that when I talked about these new strikes that are coming up, they are going to actually do strikes on channels that aren't doing anything wrong. And long story short, they're basically trying to get rid of some minor channels. They've got too many channels. So my advice to you from today, if you see something wrong in someone's video, such as a clickbait title or filming while they're driving, any misdemeanor, doing swearing when it's not adult only content, any of these little things that you see, dangerous activities, all the things that people shouldn't be doing and YouTube says you can't do. If you see any of these, report the video, and it's best if you actually watch the video and freeze frame it at the point you're talking about, and then YouTube can see it. So if someone's putting their middle finger up deliberately with no content to the video, then freeze it at that point, report the video, and YouTube will see that shot, the snapshot, if you like, almost of that point. Save them all up, and I guarantee if they're big channels, YouTube will do nothing about it. Just save them up, keep reporting them, save them up. The bigger the channel, the better. So look at some big channels, find all their misdemeanors. Then when you get a strike, when you've done nothing wrong, keep all those reports, which they'll all be on one page, and then post that with your strike notification and say, when you deal with these deliberate misdemeanors, then you can come to my channel and tell me there's a minor misdemeanor, which there is not. and you just dispute it. If you want to know how to do those things, it's very easy. Don't be afraid. Peter's saying, I agree, Dawn. Yes, thumbnails must be in your face and related to your video. Yes, they are going cut down on that again, which I still think they should do. And also they did cut down for a while and then they stopped again. They cut down on, even if you had a normal title, like I went to the hospital, let's say, so something that would catch people's attention. And yes, it is in your video, but you just went to the hospital to visit your aunt, who was just in for the day. She had cut her finger. So it's, if that's like a small bit of your video, they were saying it has to be, let's say your video is 10 minutes long, it had to be at least a main content of that 10 minutes. So if you've got a video that's an hour long and your title relates to a minute, 5 minutes, then they were saying you couldn't use that in your title. Peter saying he doesn't care if YouTube strikes him. Had a gutful of YouTube. I'm not interested in YouTube anymore. Well, the fun part is, Peter, that you actually can, I've got to be careful of the language I use here, as in legal language, but you can go against what YouTube says and win. Let's say that. Okay, I've done that. And I talked about earlier about how do you know these channels who say, oh, I know everything about YouTube, and then they put out, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. And the question I ask them, and if they can't answer it, because I have the answer from YouTube directly, if they can't answer it or ignore the question, then they do not know basics about YouTube. The question is this, and I won't give you the answer because I know people watch this and they know the answer. The question is, why are many countries still not allowed to be monetized by YouTube? And let me just say, it's nothing to do with the country itself. It is purely a bias by YouTube, in as much as the same way that countries such as Cyprus cannot get sponsorship deals from YouTube, AdSense, anything, because we are not big enough to get enough people buying the products. So the only countries that can get sponsorships at the moment are America, Canada, England, Portugal, France, Spain. Did I say Australia? I think I might have missed a couple out there. You'll be at me, oh, I got sponsorships. If you're not those countries, you cannot get sponsorships. You can go privately and get sponsorships, but you won't get money for doing those sponsorships. So yes, the question is, what you ask these big channels who say, oh, I know everything about YouTube, then say to them, why does YouTube not allow them to become monetized? Nothing to do with countries. And the reason I know the answer is I had a mighty battle with YouTube, which I won. You will see my channel is monetized, not this one, my main channel. This one doesn't have enough watch hours by a long way. And Cyprus was not monetized by YouTube. And I checked with our government and I checked with authorities, not a problem. It was purely YouTube didn't want to monetize Cyprus, which, see how you can win battles with YouTube? It took me a year, over a year, maybe 2 years in total to actually get some money as well. And I won for Cyprus. And part of the reason I won that was because you can't give a Cypriot address. They won't accept it because they don't monetize. So there are a couple of YouTubers in Cyprus. So I said to them, well, how are they being paid by you? And they said they can't be because they must have their address and bank and so on and so forth. It mustn't be in Cyprus. So I found out they were giving false addresses. Let's say they lived in Greece or England or wherever they had another property or a relative's property. So they were getting money falsely from YouTube. So I asked them for payment and monetization because I was doing it legally to be monetized. So there was that. So that's one of very few battles I have gone and won, basically. So we'll have a breather, we'll have a drink, and we say welcome to Glitterworld. We're talking about myths busted by YouTube. Please don't follow what other channels tell you. And the easiest story to relate to that, another myth that was going around for a long time, was you can't put emojis in a chat. Why do people believe these stupidity things? Then when I started putting loads in a channel, because I said, what do you think is going to happen? Oh, they won't accept it and they take the channel down. They think you're a bot and all this. And then the story twisted to you can't put more than 3 emojis in a chat. So I continued to deliberately put loads and loads in. I said, tell me when something happens because I've done that. Tell me what happens. And now people don't take any notice of that. So that was another myth I kept on and on, just showing people what a load of nonsense. Someone starts these myths and people pick up on it. So as I say, if anyone tells you you can't do that or don't do that, or you must do this, or this will bring in money and do this and do that, say to them, where did you get that information from? And I take no notice of anything. Yes, people say, oh, I study it and this, and I've tried it and it works. Yes, indeed. Or what are the odds? If you know odds of anything, eventually something will work just based on law of probability. So as I say, my words come to you directly, absolutely directly. So I will never just say, oh, do this, do that. Yes, so there's these sort of things. It's craziness. People just believe what they're told. But what I will say about emojis is in comments, not chat, in comments, if you comment on someone's video or short and you only put emojis, it doesn't get count as a comment. Yes, you're looking, it says there's 4 comments, 5 comments. Yes, you'll see it as a comment, but it doesn't get counted. So if someone watches loads and loads of your shorts, but only puts emojis, like every time they watch one, that's lovely, that's really kind, but it's not helping the channel. And for someone like me, I reply to every single comment. So if there's all those there and I comment back, by the way, your comments back count. Some people think if they thumbs up their own comments, that helps, and heart their own comments. It doesn't. It doesn't. Anything you do to your own channel by viewing, thumbs upping, hearting your own comments or your own videos, it doesn't help. You can see it, but it doesn't count. Let's see. Where are we? Peter says he got annoyed with YouTube earlier today. One of my videos, I used YouTube's music library. I talk about this next then. I use YouTube's music library. Yeah, got a copyright. Yes, you will. And it's silly. That's why YouTube is useless. Okay, let's talk about that. I will get to the title because it's very important. But I wanted this to be a discussion video. So this is great. Thank you for contributing, Peter. I have had, this is another battle with YouTube, which I've won. See, for me, I'll keep doing it. I could go on and on about this, but I'll try and keep it as brief as possible. I would never use YouTube Music Library. 9 out of 10 of them are copyrighted. You can't use them. And YouTube are doing absolutely everything they can to, one, make you use their music because they get money, and two, to make you use premium, YouTube Premium. They are the two things they are doing everything under their power to try and get you to do. The premium we'll talk about in a minute, that goes with the title of this video, but we're talking about the music right now. So whenever you use other music, if you ever get a copyright and it says the copyright is issued by Hawk, and I think that's 2 W's, HAWWK, Hawk, for a third party. Now, the first thing I did was, Hawk is YouTube. Yes, Hawk is YouTube. So every now and then you'll get a fake strike. If you get a strike and you know you're right, and this is something else, when I keep a record of my videos, I also put what music pieces I use. So I know for a fact that they're all okay. I don't use YouTube at all. So let's show, for example, the blue is my music. So the blue at the top is the title of the video, the number of which video, how long it is, and the music. And when I put no theme, it's because I've got theme tunes of both my channels. So if I put no theme, I know I haven't used it. So Ben is Bensound. I recommend you use Bensound, is very good. And no, you never get copyright strikes against them. And the other one I use is Roa. So let me just type those in. Peter's off. So these are two that you could use without any issues at all. Bensound is one. Just type in Bensounds. And the other one is Roa. And I use a lot of Roa because it's easier to use that than it is Bensound now. Now, the first part of the story was I used Bensound since I started YouTube. They have a great mix of music. And at that time, all you had to do was copy and paste. So when you used a track, so I had all their music, again in a Word doc, all their pieces of music with the URLs. And whenever you used it, you just click on whatever one, copy, paste it. That is now different. YouTube suddenly decided you couldn't use Bensound music anymore. They just suddenly decided it. And it got so bad with Bensound, nothing wrong with Bensound, but YouTube and people using Bensound, they kind of pick on a music channel, if you like. And it got so bad that Bensound actually had a whole page up on their channel of their legal proceedings, because every time you use their music, they were losing customers to YouTube, because whenever you get a copyright strike for music, YouTube always says, well, you should use our music. But as Peter said, a lot of that is copyrighted and they want you to go, oh, well, then the copyright sometimes says they're happy for you to use the music, but you have to share your income, or it says you can't monetize, but they're still getting the money from the channels that they put in YouTube library, YouTube music. Anyway, Bensound had this whole page up and saying whenever you get a strike or copyright or whatever, send us like a copy, like copy paste it and send it to them and say which bit of music. And this went on for about a year, and they said, you can use our music, please don't disappear. And they had a battle with YouTube, and they finally won, but they've done a different system, because once YouTube grabs one of these channels, every time someone clicks on a bit of music, it flags up. So YouTube, Bensounds have now actually done this thing, so I don't use it as much now, that you have to download the bit of music every single time you want to use it. So you can't just keep a URL now, and they give you a new URL every single time for every single local bit of music, and it's a one-time only. So obviously that's a bit of a nuisance that you have to go in and just click download, and you don't have to wait for it. You get the URL. So I don't use that so much. Roa, I love Roa. Most of my tracks now are from Roa, and there's a huge amount of music. Roa had problems with them as well. I informed Roa what was happening, and she basically has now put under some videos not to use their videos unless you're willing to pay, but all the old ones, they are still free. So just check in the description. If it says you can use this bit of music but copy and paste it, then that is a piece you can use, which is most of hers. There's a few that doesn't have the copy and paste in the description. It hasn't got that, don't. And the way I got around that is she sent me a statement back. Let me just bring it up. I'll read it to you. I can't give it to you. Oh, yes, I can probably. So I keep this on my music sheet of all the URLs of music that I use. I think I should be able to copy and paste it. She gave me this, and she said, before you use my music, which is all free to use, just copy and paste this when you do music credits. So this is the statement she gave me, and it says, Roa, free to use my music in your video, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc. My music is copyrighted, but you have my permission to use it in your content on social media as long as credit is given. That says, it's, yeah, broke it into 2 bits. So I post that, fine. Now, the only problem now I have is I use Clipchamp, which is Microsoft platform, and it's like Canva. I think a lot of people know Canva. So I use that now, and Hawk has flagged that up. Now, you can kind of hover over where they say copyright if you're very clever with your mouse, and it just shows you that Hawk is basically they've got, let's say, a program, like how they look through all YouTube fast, like I can't think what you call it, like a kind of bot program, if you like, programming system. If you hover over it, it's got every single country in the world. A great big page comes up. It's only there for like an instant. Just hover over a copyright area somewhere, and it's got every time any of those countries use music from Clipchamp, it flags up a copyright issue. And they've just turned around to me, YouTube, and said it's so easy to do the copyright music issue that I leave it, and I will show you part of what I sent to YouTube. Let me show you part of the discussion. Anyway, it's still easier for me to just use all the Clipchamp music on my lives, and then I use all the music on my lives. It's quick because I know how to dispute. It's literally 5 clicks and I'm done. It's easier for me to do that on lives than sit and think, oh, what music have I done? I don't pay for any music. I just use free to use music. I would not touch YouTube. Oh, this was part of my conversation when it was Roa's music. I save everything. So please stop this person repeatedly claiming every piece of music that I use in every live video. It's a scammer. The music belongs to Roa. I have permission to use Roa's music. The other thing is when I get, now I'm not recommending you do it, but I want to prove a point. When I get all these copyrights for music that I know I'm fine to use, so I dispute them all. And a few days later, oh, you're free to use that music. I was like, yes, I know. The dispute has been removed. Now, you're told if you keep disputing and you're wrong, you can get shut down from YouTube. But if Hawk, this is how I know it must have been via YouTube, if Hawk keeps repeatedly on a daily basis claiming copyright which are unfounded and untrue, and it's disputed and I'm proved I'm right for using them, if that occurs, they can dispute, they can say it's their copyright for as many times as you like, because YouTube have only just changed their policy, which was definitely not there before. Because I've been claiming against them all the time, they now say someone can claim for a third party. Yes, that is a new policy, i.e. YouTube can claim against anyone's music randomly. And if you go, oh, I must be wrong, okay, I'll share the income with you. YouTube is just taking their income back. This is why the YouTube music library, whatever you want to call it, YouTube's music, a lot of it is copyrighted, because then they get the money if they give you a copyright on the music. So my advice is find a channel of music that you know is fine. As I say, I would highly recommend Roa, but as I say, just check. If you don't pay for music, just check when you're going to download a bit of music or use a bit of music, go down in her description, and in her description she puts, you're free to use this music, blah, 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 as long as you copy and paste this into your description. And she does say, do it before a live or before you post a video. Well, obviously do it before. So that means don't use music and then if she comes at you. So I would recommend go on Roa's channel, and there's so much beautiful music. If you like my music, that's that. Anyway, let's get on to what I was going to talk about today. YouTube myths busted. You can watch YouTube ad free using a free, no cost ad blocker. You do not have to pay for the YouTube Premium. You do not. Now, this is something I talked about before, and I've been asked to say more about it. And basically, if you don't have Premium, and if you have an ad blocker, please don't pay for an ad blocker. There's so many free ones and they do the job. Please do not pay for an ad blocker. Although a lot of people have said to me they'd rather pay for an ad blocker than to pay YouTube the Premium so as not to get ads. But you do not need to pay for ad blockers. And it turns out a lot of people don't even know there are such a things where you can block ads on YouTube. So this occurred recently, that anyone using an ad blocker, which is what I do because I can't have this disruption of adverts popping up because of my brain condition. It distracts me and I've lost the thread. So I have to use ad blockers. I want to watch something, I watch it. Anyone who had an ad blocker active recently, and I'm talking a few weeks, maybe a month, YouTube suddenly, when you went on YouTube, it put up, now there's different versions, people got different versions of it, but it was basically saying it froze the screen on YouTube. You couldn't watch YouTube anymore unless you either got rid of your ad blocker or you paid YouTube Premium. Now, as I said at the very beginning of this video, YouTube is doing its best to make money on YouTube Premium and trying to get you to do join and anything through YouTube. They want you to get the money and then give it back to them, which is why I don't agree with the join the channels, because they take so much money and people think they're donating and helping you. You get pittance. So if you had an ad blocker, the screen would freeze. You couldn't watch or do anything on YouTube. And as I say, there were 3 different versions of this screen. Mike got one version and I've got 2 different browsers. This browser I'm on now is the only one that works with StreamYard. The other one doesn't. The microphone won't work. I have 2 browsers. So I got one on my other browser. I couldn't watch YouTube. But a different message to Mike's. His message was just he couldn't watch YouTube until he got rid of his ad blocker or until he paid for YouTube Premium. My message was different. It had 3 black squares in it, and it said the same thing, but it said you have 3 chances to either get rid of your ad blocker or pay us for YouTube Premium. You had to sign up for it, which I'm told as well that has just gone up to $20. I can't tell you if that's fact or fiction. I do not know, but I was told. I don't know what it was or how much it's gone up to, because I don't do that, but apparently they've put that up and then sent this message out to people. So mine had three squares, and it had number 1, 2, 3, and it said you have 3 chances to pay us or remove your ad blocker, or you will be totally wiped out of YouTube forever. Now, if that's not scaremongering, I don't know what. So as I said, I've heard a lot of people didn't even know there was such a thing as free ad blockers or ad blockers. So they were paying up, and the YouTube Premium, the platform, went up in income by 80%. 80% by scaremongering. Now, I don't know how much you know about law with computer and whatever else, but just to say, if you're registered, like YouTube is, as social media, because you've got the word social media there, it means free for all to access. So, okay, they could turn around and say, well, you're only having to watch the ads. It's still free. It technically isn't, because if you've got a disability like me and I cannot be interrupted with adverts while I'm concentrating on something, then that's discrimination. Anyway, so Mike just left his. He did nothing. So he couldn't watch YouTube. I watched it 3 more times, and it didn't completely wipe out YouTube. It just left it. You now have no access to YouTube. It didn't take my channel down, or it was still YouTube. I could go in and comment as if I'd watched a video, but I couldn't have watched a video. So I don't know if I went on the chat. No, I couldn't go in a chat because you have to watch a video for a live. So I could still make my videos because this was on this platform that didn't have any message up. So I knew they were slowly working their way through all the channels. So I left it and could watch the other browser, all well and good. Mike's came back. He'd done nothing. And a few days later, he could watch YouTube again by doing nothing. He left his ad blockers up, nothing. My first browser, which had the 3 strikes, that came back. But then this browser had that message again with the 3 squares. So I thought, okay, because my first browser that did have the 3 strikes, I messed around and watched 3 more times. I left that. I just left it. So I thought this time I'm just going to leave. I did watched 3 more times on the first browser and couldn't watch anymore. So I thought just leave it on the second browser. So at that point, I actually had 2 that weren't working, but because Mike came back, I left it for a few days. I was picking olives anyway, so I couldn't really watch YouTube channels anyway. So that was fine. And now the first browser is working again, but this one isn't still. But I'm holding out because I know they just come back. They're obviously going to block you for a certain amount of time, making you think, oh, you've lost YouTube. But if you don't do anything, you can't view YouTube. So therefore, you're not watching all these ads, are you, anyway? So you can't watch. So I'm pretty sure, as I say, I'm using StreamYard now. I don't know if I wouldn't have been able to go live probably via YouTube. This is via StreamYard, so maybe I couldn't have done that. I don't know, because it's about watching videos. So basically, and apparently a lot of YouTubers have now caught on to this story, and they're making their own videos about it, which is why I thought I'd do a full video on it now, because people are jumping on the bandwagon of using what I was talking about before many people knew of it. And it turns out that it's actually counteracted YouTube, because a lot of older people and even younger people didn't even know there was such a thing as an ad blocker. You just go on your platform on Google or wherever you get your little app things, and you just go on there and it lists all free ones. YouTube are trying to put out that they don't block YouTube. No, what it is Google actually tries to keep disconnecting some of the ad blockers. So what I do, I have 2 ad blockers running simultaneously. So if one goes down, the other one is still there. So there is that. So basically, it turns out a lot of people didn't know there was such a thing even as an ad blocker. And one of the apps of ad blocker, they say their income of the paid ones has suddenly gone through the roof, sky high of income, people finding out, oh, you can have an ad blocker and you can still watch YouTube without any ads, without premium. But I want to get the message out there. You do not even have to pay for ad blockers. There are so many free ones, so many free ones. So do get a free ad blocker. Don't panic if you haven't had this message yet and suddenly you get the message when you got your ad blocker. It will go away, and it will do you good to go away from YouTube for a week or so anyway. So, and if you do live stream, use another platform, because as I say, it should be all right, but you might not be able to get on via YouTube. I don't know. But yes, my message is there are free ad blockers. I am now still watching YouTube with no adverts at all. What annoys me more, I don't mind an odd advert or a short one at the beginning. I don't know what adverts are on my videos. So I'm saying it's for me because of my condition. I cannot be told you will watch adverts. The bigger the channel, the more adverts. Someone's saying even part way through a word, they now cut an advert. The bigger channels are putting multiple in. And yes, it's down to the host, the channel owner, how many ads get put in your video. They go, oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. YouTube just does it. No, they don't just do it. You can put, I put only at the beginning. I don't know if I put the end, but I certainly would never put an advert in the middle of my videos. So I put only at the beginning. So you see the beginning, you could get a cup of tea and then watch the video. So yes, I wanted to get this across so that you can still watch YouTube without adverts. And I'm just not liking the fact that YouTube is doing this only to get more money and force people with no idea what they can and can't do to buy the YouTube Premium. And I'm pretty sure most people that got YouTube Premium is purely so they don't have to watch ads. That's what they think they have to do. And I was saying, what annoys me about adverts is the fact that a big channel, let's say, has multiple adverts every few minutes. And that's why a lot of them have long content of not a lot of nonsense and panning around the countryside and filler. It's so they can fit more adverts in. And not only do they have lots of adverts, but then their advert is a sponsorship as well. So I feel I'm forced enough to watch adverts that are sponsorships within videos without then having multiple adverts as well. So I do know a lot of people gave up TV because they were fed up with adverts. So the moral of this, or the proverb of this, is get an ad blocker. Don't pay for the ad blocker. If you want any questions answered, if you don't know much about computers, if you want to know what ad blockers I've got the logos up there, but I can't tell. Can I see what they are? Adblock Plus is one, and the other one, It's just called Adblock, best ad blocker. And if you do StreamYard, my friend Blue from Blue Self-Reliant, let's give her a shout out. She actually told me I had trouble sharing my screen on StreamYard. And she said, if you've got an ad blocker, you come on StreamYard, and then on your ad blocker, you can actually open the ad blocker to certain things. So let's say you go on a site and like, I do want to see it, but like StreamYard, I could use it, but I couldn't do certain things with my ad blocker. I've opened up the ad blocker only for StreamYard. So you can do that if you want to. But, another interesting thing with ad blockers, I read an English newspaper. I used to get it for free. I don't pay for anything, but there again, the English newspaper, when I watched it on my laptop, they suddenly put up a thing, can't watch it anymore. You've either got to take your ad blockers down or pay. Well, I'm not doing either of those. So I stopped. I thought, I can do without it. They're hoping you're hooked that you can't do without. So when I got my first grown-up phone recently, like a proper smartphone, I thought, I'll just see what comes up there. It comes up there, the same newspaper, no ads. No ads. So do fish around a little bit as well. I know phones can often show you more adverts, but sometimes if you get an app for something, you'll be all right. So I hope that's helped you. As I say, if you've got any questions, please comment. I would really love to hear your comments. I want to know if you're paying for YouTube Premium, and is it purely because you thought that was a free ad way? What other benefits are there of that? I don't know. Please fill me in on that. It's not something I've even looked at, but I do know a lot of people use it to be ad free. You don't need to pay them, just get a free ad blocker. It does the same thing. As I say, I've got two running, so if Google fiddles with one, the other one's still working, and then you can just reset it. If you reset one, you just click on it, it resets it, but it won't work until you've come out and gone back in again. So that's a little tip. Sometimes you click it, you think, it's not reset. You have to come out and go back in. So I hope that's been helpful. As I say, I really want to hear people's opinion of this. Share any tips, but only if they're factual tips. And hope that has helped someone out there. Let me know if it has. And I will be back with more YouTube myths busted another time. So thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. I'm here for fair play. People haven't got money to pay for. I certainly haven't got money. If I've got to pay for something for YouTube, I can't have it anymore. Simple as that. So thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.